Hi, dear grade 10 students, how are you? Hope you are doing great. In our previous class, we had started to talk about Unit 16. In the previous class, we had talked about reading first of Unit 16 that was related to Walt Disney's life story. Walt Disney as an example of struggle and success. And in today's class, we will start the class with some summary and revision from our previous class. For that, let's start with a short video. The video is related to Walt Disney's life.
Walt Disney grew up in a poor family. He was one of 5 kids, so to help out, he began painting and selling pictures. At the age of 16, he dropped out of school to join the US Army, but was rejected because he wasn't old enough. Instead, he joined the Red Cross and was sent to France to drive an ambulance for a year. After he came back in Kansas City, he landed a job at an art studio, but he was fired. According to his boss, he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He and his co-worker Ab Iwerks founded their own commercial company, but they failed to attract customers. So Disney and his brother Roy focused on creating cartoons and launched their own company called Laugh-O-Gram, and their cartoons became very popular. But unfortunately, they did not provide enough income, so the company went bankrupt. With only $40 in his pocket, Walt Disney went to Hollywood. He tried to become an actor and failed at that too. So Disney convinced his brother to join him so they could start working again. And soon, with the creation of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Disney found his first big success. But sadly, that success didn't last long. Disney lost his legal rights to this popular character. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, Disney decided to start over. Disney and Ab Iwerks created the animated character Mickey Mouse, and the cartoon became a huge success. Walt Disney grew up poor and was never afraid of hard work. He was fired, he went bankrupt, and failed over and over again. He was even rejected 300 times. But he never stopped.
Yes, dear students. We went through some of the major part of his life, Walt Disney's life, that he started his life with some struggles, some setbacks. His beginning was humble beginning. He came through the childhood with many of the financial struggles. His father is said to be an abusive father. He was quite strict. And Walt Disney's brothers had to run away from the house because their father was abusive. That means, obviously, Walt Disney also had to suffer that situation. He pursued his career in drawing in the beginning. He was quite interested in drawing. Later on, he tried with different careers, like he was interested to go to army. He went there, but he was rejected because he was underage. Later, he went Red Cross. He joined Red Cross as an ambulance driver. Later, Walt Disney and his brother opened one Laugh-O-Gram studio because they were interested in art studio. And sadly, that also went to bankruptcy. They couldn't do financially good in that Laugh-O-Gram studio too. Soon later, Walt Disney tried with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He had been a bit successful with that, quite successful. But the success couldn't last long because he had to lose the legal right on Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Later, he created Mickey Mouse, the popular Mickey Mouse. I guess you have none about it. You are very well known about it. But can you imagine Mickey Mouse, such a popular cartoon, that was rejected not for 100 times, but 300 times. However, later on it was accepted and it got great success. Eventually, it became a great success. Walt Disney had overwork, some tension with his employer. Employer had taken away some of his animators too. Because of that, he got nervous breakdown. However, his Snow White gave him success again. Later on, Walt Disney went with Disneyland, a great project that is still famous worldwide. However, the Disneyland didn't have comfortable start. It had rocky start, a bit difficult start. However, it ended up with colossal success, a great success. And Walt Disney, a man of struggle, throughout his life he struggled. And he himself reflects his life and he says, with realization that failure was the great part of his life. He was strengthened with adversities. And behind his success, the main role was of his failure. Therefore, in our life too, we need to learn lesson from such struggling figures that we shouldn't give up simply because we fail somewhere. We need to keep up working. Okay, in our previous class, we had also talked about some of the important vocabularies like siblings, domineering, bankrupt, animation, nervous breakdown, perseverance, colossal, adversity, silver lining, and so many others. I hope you still remember them. Next, we have task 1 from comprehension exercise that is related with vocabulary that we had discussed in our previous class. Look at these words. Do you remember these words and their meanings? Let's try to remember them. First of all, we have domineering. Do you remember what we had said last time, the meaning of domineering? Domineering means controlling, overbearing. Disney's father was domineering. Okay. Next is plotting. Plotting means secretly planning for doing something or to carry out any action. It is secret plan. Someone made a plot, means made a secret plan. Next is solace. Can you guess what solace means? Let's see. Solace means to give comfort, to console someone in the time of sadness. If someone is sad, we console them. Okay. Afloat. Afloat means out of date or difficulty. Any of the financial difficulty mainly. Apprentice. Apprentice means, do you remember? Apprentice means trainee or learner. In the beginning part of some job also, they may train some people, but it is as a trainee or learner. Bankrupt. Bankrupt means being penniless. Penniless means without money. Reduced to level of financial ruin. Financially, someone goes penniless, without money. Mounting means increasing. I guess it is a bit easier for you. Next is harness. What does harness mean? Harness means arranging something, managing something. That is harnessing. Harness means arrange, manage. Next word is perseverance. Perseverance. Perseverance means dedication or persistence. We do any work persistently, continuously, without giving it up. That is called perseverance. Finally, 10th word is colossal. Colossal is extremely great. Yes, now we have fill in the blanks exercise here. We talked about these 10 words, and now let's go with this exercise. Here are 10 statements with blank spaces. In these blank spaces, we need to pick any of the word from the given options and we need to make them meaningful. Let's go to A. Kishan had to sell his house to keep his business. Can you guess what can be the right option? Afloat. Afloat means economically normal. B. He was accused of. Can you guess what can be right option? Accused of plotting the robbery of the bank. Oh, he might have been involved in plotting for robbing the bank. Let's go to C. Scientists are trying to the sun's ray as a new source of energy. Trying to manage. Okay? Many companies went during the economic depression, bankrupt. In the E, courage and perseverance are the key to success in life that we learned from Walt Disney's life too. In the F, the government had mounting pressure, increasing pressure for the public to withdraw the bill. G, after his graduation, he worked as an electrician in a company. Electrician. What can be the right word? Let's see. Apprentice. With apprentice, whether we use an apprentice. Okay. Let's go to H. The government spent a colossal amount, means great amount of money on the renovation of the historical buildings. I, Kathy was brought up by an unkind, domineering stepmother, similar to Walt Disney's father. Now go to J. Patrick took in the company of his mates. Now only one word is left there, that is solace. Patrick took solace in the company of his mates. Now let's go to task B. In the task B, here are some phrases and idioms. Phrases, group of words. Idioms also are group of words, but idioms may mean something indirect rather than direct meaning. The first idiom we have is make ends meet. The meaning is make ends meet. We had talked about it in our previous class too. Make ends meet means to earn just enough money to be able to buy the things you need. Only for the basic things. In our text, he, means Disney's father, was unsuccessful to make ends for the family. It is given in paragraph 3. Now let's go with one sentence. When he went to Europe, Susan had to work for 15 hours a day to make ends meet for his family. That means if he hadn't worked that long, he wouldn't be able to feed his family probably. Okay, next word we have is silver lining. Silver lining means something hopeful situation. Hopeful situation. This word, this idiom is derived from the saying every cloud has a silver lining. Cloud, though it is dark, it has silver lining, it has brighter part in the surrounding. In the text, it has been mentioned there that, but he failed at that too. Still, there was a silver lining to his move. Still, there was hope. In our sentence, we can make, it rained heavily and flooded. That is quite bad one, quite hopeless situation. However, silver lining is the environment became clean and healthy. That is good part. Okay, let's proceed to C. Now we have C, nervous breakdown. It means it is a mental situation typically considered to cause by extreme anxiety, depression or stress. In the text, we had known that, we had read that not only was he overworked, but tension with his employer, who eventually stole his longtime and best animator from him, led to Disney having a nervous breakdown. Now, can you make one sentence for this phrase? Let's see here one. After years of clash between husband and wife, means husband and wife didn't have good relation, Sushma went through a nervous breakdown and had to go through a long treatment, mental treatment. See? Now D, kick in the teeth. Kick in the teeth. It is a severe, unpleasant feeling of harshness or unfair. We feel quite unfair on something. In the text, we had read it. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Yes, sometimes we get feeling of unfair at the time of some unpleasant. In the sentence, we can say, losing the match in the final seconds was a real kick in the teeth for the team after they had worked so hard all season. They had worked hard, but they couldn't succeed, and they felt kick in the teeth. Let's go to E. It is drop out. Drop out means to stop participating in something such as school or a particular activity, or stopped going to school. In the text we have, when Disney was 16, he dropped out of school to join the army, but was rejected for being underage. He was just 16 at that time. He dropped out the school. Dropped out of school means he left his school. Tika had failed 2 terminal examinations before she decided to drop out from the school. Yes, she failed twice. Now she dropped out. Set off. To begin a journey, to start anything suddenly. In the text, we had a sentence like this. When he returned home from war, Disney became an apprentice at a Kansas City commercial art studio. Itching to set off, he and his older brother Roy launched their own cartoon business. Yes, they set off means they began. They started. In the sentence, we can say, we had planned a day-long hiking. We had planned so. It was day long, so we set off, we started early in the morning to make it easier. This way, we talked about some of the phrases and idioms in this exercise. Now, let's go to exercise C. Exercise C, let me read the instruction given there. The following sentences represent some events in Disney's life. Study and rewrite them in the chronological order. Oh, that means we need to find which event, which statement happened earlier in his life, which happened later on. Let's proceed then. These are the statements we need to find. First statement is, he shifted his focus from big screens to television shows. Try to find it on the text. Okay, it can be found in paragraph 9th, somewhere in the middle. B. He successfully founded the famous Disneyland. It's in the same paragraph, paragraph 9. See there? Paragraph 9, but at the last. C. He returned to Chicago and worked as a trainee at the art studio. It's in the beginning of 4th paragraph. D. He created the characters Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and Mickey Mouse. We can find that in paragraph 5. The cartoon company collapsed means you can find it in paragraph 4 with literal part. Disney suffered severe mental and emotional illness. You can find it in paragraph 8. And last, G. Disney left home and went to France to work as an ambulance driver. You can find it in paragraph 3. Now, you will just write these statements in accordance with they are there in the text, main text, or you can follow the paragraph wise. You can see here this sentence in paragraph 3, it comes at first. Paragraph 4 beginning comes after it. Okay, let's see how comes the chronological order. Yes, paragraph 3, paragraph 4 in the beginning, paragraph 4 literal part, paragraph 5, paragraph 8, paragraph 9, paragraph 9 at last. This way we can find the right chronological order. Now we have exercise D. Answer these questions. Let's start. A and B. How was Walt Disney's childhood? Describe Disney's family background. These questions are somehow closer. We can find both of these questions answer in this text. In paragraph 2, it has been said that his road to success was paved by an unhappy childhood. See? How was Walt Disney's childhood? Unhappy childhood. Good. We get a clue like that. Along with countless business failures and setbacks. Similarly, in paragraph 3, it has mentioned his father Elias was a domineering figure who was allegedly abusive. He was unsuccessful to make ends meet for the family, to escape from his stressful circumstances. That was his childhood situation. Young Disney found solace in drawing. If so, in answer what can we write? Yes, Walt Disney's childhood was unhappy from paragraph 2, stressful from paragraph 3. This way, sometimes we need to find answer not only in one place, sometimes answer can be scattered too. We need to find them. Similarly, Walt Disney's family background. Disney's father was a domineering figure. He was unable to make sufficient money for their livelihood. So, Disney's family went through stressful circumstances due to the father's abusive nature and the poor economic condition. Clear? Okay, let's proceed then. We have C. What did Disney do after his failure in the first business? Okay, you can find its answer in paragraph 5. He packed his bags, took off to Los Angeles. Things are plain simple, yeah? Okay, after his failure in the first business, he went to Los Angeles to pursue his career in acting. Let's go to D. How was the character of Mickey Mouse created? How? We had discussed in the previous class too. Okay, he no longer had any legal right to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He lost his legal right to Oswald. But instead of fighting the loss or plotting his revenge, Disney decided to walk away and start over again. It was on the train ride back to California that he created Mickey Mouse. Yes, here is the answer. The character of Mickey Mouse was created during his train ride to California after he lost his rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Is it clear? Next, go to E. Why did Disney have a mental breakdown? We have talked about his overwork, his tension with his employer, who stole his long time, and his best animators too. Because of that, he got mental breakdown. Disney had a mental breakdown because he had to overwork and bear the tension with his employer who had taken away Disney's best animators from him. Yes. Now, F. Which of his films were commercially useless? Commercially useless means super flops, better say. Here are something, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Was that super flop? Was that the useless film of him? No, it would become a huge success. Yeah? If so, here are other films which would end up being darts. Oh, darts means they became commercially useless. His films, Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Bambi, they were commercially useless films. Question G also is similar to the given text. Which film produced him great financial returns then? That is Snow White and Seven Dwarfs that produced him great financial returns. Okay, in the same way, here are these questions. Why do you think the opening of Disneyland was called Black Sunday? What special quality of Disney made him financially a successful entrepreneur? What lesson do you learn from Disney's life? Similar to the way we did in our previous questions, you will try to do it as homework. I'm sure you can do it quite easily. Similarly, next we have exercise E that says, who has inspired you significantly in your life? Share his or her story to the class. Life story to the class. Now we need to talk about life story of someone. That someone should be inspiring figure. Inspiring person can be anyone. Can be a friend, can be a family member, can be your teachers, can be any politician, social worker, or anyone. And while writing life story, we should pay attention to these things. The birth information shouldn't necessarily be always date of birth, could be birthplace. Yeah. Childhood, how was the childhood? Where was childhood spent? Education, if it is applicable. Okay. Major events of life, what he or she did as the major events in life. Major contributions because of which the person became inspiring figure. And influences for what he or she is remembered and why you feel inspired with him or with her. This also, I hope, will be a home assignment. You can do it as home assignment. Dear students, next we have an interesting topic, interesting exercise, that is pronunciation. Here we have some words. We will learn about their pronunciation. We will learn what part of speech they belong to. We will count their number of syllables. And we will also try to identify the stressed syllables in that word. Let's proceed. A has been done in your book. The word is extraordinarily. Extraordinarily.
Extraordinarily. Extraordinarily.
It's an adverb. Its number of syllables is 6. It has been given in your book. Extraordinarily. 6. And its second syllable is stress. You can see here is one mark in front of S. This mark is mark of stressed syllable. Similarly, next is sibling. Sibling. Do you know what part of speech it is? Sibling.
Sibling. Sibling.
Sibling is a noun. It is one naming word. I know by your level you know very well what noun is, what adverb is, what verb is, and they are called part of speech. I think you know them all. Now let's count number of syllables in sibling. Sibling, sibling. There are just 2 syllables. And where does the stress fall? Stress falls on the first syllable. Now is next word, adversity. Adversity.
Adversity. Adversity.
Adversity is one noun. Now count the syllables. Adversity. Adversity has 4 syllables. And where does the stress fall? Look at here. It falls on the second syllable. About next word, can you try? Let's try together then. Next word is renegotiate. Renegotiate.
Renegotiate. Renegotiate.
Renegotiate. Do you know which part of speech it is? It is one verb. And how many syllables does it have? Renegotiate. 5? Yes, it has 5. And where does the stress fall? Not in one place. Here we get stress in 2 places. Renegotiate. Renegotiate. In front of ni, in front of go. Renegotiate. Similarly, next word is venture.
Venture. Venture.
Do you know which part of speech it belongs to? Venture can be noun, venture, or it can be one verb too. Some of the words in English can be used both in noun and verb form. For venture, let's count the syllables. Venture. Venture. Does it have just 2 syllables? Yes, it has 2 syllables. Where does the stress fall? Stress falls on the first syllable. Next word we have is enterprise.
Enterprise. Enterprise.
Enterprise is a noun. Enterprise. It has 3 syllables. And where does the stress fall? Stress falls on the first syllable. Finally, the last word here is animation. Animation.
Animation. Animation.
Let's see which is the part of speech. Animation should be a noun. Yes, it is a noun. Now count the number of syllables. Animation. Animation. Yes, it has 4 syllables. And where does the stress fall? Stress falls first and third. A, may. Animation. A and may. First and third. Animation. Like this, we talked about these 7 words given in the exercise. Similarly, can you practice some other words on a one with your friend? I hope you'll try that. Okay, we have come to the end of today's class. Today, at first we talked about some of the vocabularies and we tried to do fill in the blank exercise. After that, we talked about some phrases and idioms from the text. We tried to learn how to write chronological order. We went through finding paragraph number of any statement and we learned to make chronological order. After that, we did answering the question part. And in answering the question part, you might have remembered I had said questions H, I and J will be homework. Similarly, task E also has been left as homework. Don't forget, okay? We will meet again in the next class with next interesting subject matters to learn. Thank you. See you again. Namaste.